Something on your mind again? Let's work through it together. 2 heads are better than 1.
Wicca, 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 wicca. Wicca, 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 wicca. Wicca, 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 wicca. Currently active. Oh goodness, it's like every day with this fucking streaming hardware. It's like every day. Can't you just let me? Can't I just like click a simple button? It's like, just do it. I have the mind of an 80-year-old man, okay? I'm not technologically savvy as these Zoomers, alright? I play games, and I want people to watch them, and I want people to enjoy their time doing so. So, hopefully, that is the environment that I'm creating. And if not that, I hope it's highly toxic, highly exclusive, and I just want the people that I want to be watching my videos. I only want a select group of people to be seeing this, and if you're not part of that select group of people, you can get out. But if you're here, then you're already one of those select groups of people. You're a Genshiner. So let's get going, Genshiners, and let's make an impact. That was a good intro. I'm gonna. That was good. I'm gonna write that down. But actually, yeah, let's throw on some ASMR for this too. I like ASMR. We did water last time. Let's do ice. I like when they play around with some ice. ASMR. Oh, this looks good. Oh, now this looks like good ASMR. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that's tingly. Now that's tingly.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you now.
Alrighty, folks, we are continuing on with Fontaine's story. We just left off with the tragic sob story of Navia, otherwise known as Yellow Genshin Woman. You know what? It was kind of genuinely sad. I'll give it to him. It did make me think like, okay, I do kind of like her character now, even if it's I suppose sort of built on the back of her father's tragic passing. Everything else kind of meh. Whatever. Let's look at the statue. By the way, I haven't really looked at it. Because I don't know, this doesn't, like... Is this supposed to be Folklore, or is this supposed to be the previous Hydro Archon, perhaps? If Folklore, cool weapon, by the way. I don't know if, like... Kind of interesting that it's not, like... It's not bladed. I don't know if that's intentional or not, or if it's just like cut into the dress, perhaps. Not trying to upskirt. I'm just looking to see because it looks like it's like squared off at the end. Reasoning of justice and all that or something. I don't know. But as I recall, I wasn't sure. I thought that Folklore was going to be just a normal sword wielder. A short sword wielder versus rather than a great sword wielder. I would hope a short sword wielder because I have a good short sword in mind for her. I was gonna use this one because it would be pretty aesthetic with her. As far as gray swords go, I don't know if I really have one that would look good on her. Let me see. Eula, you are usually my great sword example. This one might look good. Maybe? I don't know. It does have, like, the Anemo sigil on it, so that's a bit distracting. The bell, perhaps? That would be sweet if, she scales with defense, but I doubt she would. She probably scales with HP. That would look good, but she would need to have a dedicated cryo support, which could be Layla. Maybe. Mailed flower would look good, actually. Now that I think about it, that would look good on her. It's all about aesthetics in this game, so that's what we try to do here. No. Red against blue would look pretty good, to be honest with you. And that's Kave's dedicated sword, so we're just gonna say no to that. This would look good. I mean, it would be nice to finally be able to use Sacrificial Greatsword, so I'm okay with that, so long as it looks fine. Do I even have the materials to level this up? Ew. Maybe. Sorry to get off on this sidetrack, but now I kind of want to see if that would be usable for her. And if I recall, the alchemy table is not too terribly far away. The city's so new, I'm still very new to it. I honestly didn't really get too used to Sumeru until like pretty far along into it, so I imagine that it might be the same here. Though nothing seems to be too important in this middle hub area. It just seems to be like the boatways. What I kind of wish, maybe this will come later with the story or what have you, that like these pathways had like the ability for us to like call our boat to it. Unless we can do it here, but I don't think that we can, so. Oh wait. You can wait for the aquabus here. Why is it at the flower? Oh, I suppose you just wait. Okay. Well, I'm dumb. I'm a dum-dum. My cat's having a freak out. Quit playing Genshin and play with me. You haven't played with me in 5 days. You've only been playing Genshin. She's not wrong. She's not right either. I hate when you embarrass me in front of my stream, kitty. Alright, let's see. Where was that? There it is. Ah, I guess I'll know because it looks like a very gear-themed, blue, futuristic-looking building. It kind of stands out amongst the rest. Surely do. Oh yeah. I'm gonna need plenty more of those too, so why don't we just go ahead and make them all. And I think I need one like a branch wand or something. Ba 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 da da. See, it's not copyright. True fans in the chat knew what I was trying to sing there. Yes, you're a good girl. Wait, I know. What was I doing? I'm sorry. Let's see here. Alright, there we go. I have plenty of shit to give you. I think didn't think I would have this many one-star items, but I suppose I do. Well, we're getting rid of all of them. 2-star. I guess that just comes with the new territory. I like how this sword looks. Like, if this was like If they branded this a 5-star, people would treat it like a 5-star. You know. I think sometimes we just get so like transfixed by the idea that, well, this is a 5-star weapon, so so I like it more for that, not necessarily just for the aesthetic of it, but and that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. Just I would hate to see like aesthetic looking weapons like this just be put off on the wayside. Perhaps maybe someday we'll get into glamour systems, but I doubt it. Oh, Favonia's sword. Grants have a 60% chance to small amount of it. That feels kind of boring. At least with the other weapon, you would have another chance to use your elemental skill, which I don't know what Folklores is going to be able to do. I haven't, like, in regards to leaks, I haven't seen anything for her exactly, except for, I don't know, she'll be able to, like, seriously decrease her HP for, like, a huge attack, but, that's all leaks. You know, before that, we had leaks for Neuvillette and we're obviously, however you pronounce his name. I'm curious how they're going to pronounce his name, by the way. But for them, like what we got as far as what their actual kits are now that we've seen them, completely different. So complete bullshit. On that note, though, I remember when Ayato was going to come out, his leaks were just like all over the fucking place. I remember my favorite leak for him that I just got off of 4chan was just like, he is going to be his personality was essentially going to be like a nerdier Sino. Like he was super into card games. He was kind of going to be like a nerdy Kaiba, I guess, in that regard. Like he was gonna have like the anime nerdy spiral glasses, and but along which I like, you know, I kind of like wish that had been his personality because I think that's fun. Though, in what we got in Sino is also good. Like I wouldn't trade that also, but I think it would also be kind of nice to have like another. It'd be nice to have another card player person. In the game, just for Sino to have a rival, I suppose. I want him to have a rival like the bug guy from Yu-Gi-Oh, or if he has like a Kaiba, so to speak. It would be cool if that person came from Fontaine. It would make sense because like Yugi is sort of like not really a country kid, but he's like he's not Kaiba. He's like a poor kid. Going up against some rich guy from Fontaine who bought all of his cards instead of like actually collecting them. What's that? Sorry, I got distracted. It looks like Dragon Spine, but it's not. But it's wrapped in a mysterious mist. Can I go there? Is that what that is? I don't think so. I think that would be cool to see though. If we get something like that, maybe it'll all eventually just be like we're going to get like a set of card players, card player characters. That'd be fun. No, I don't think I can go to that. That looks quite mysterious though. Perhaps that's the prison that we're going to get eventually, I assume. I am curious what they're gonna do in the expansion for Fontaine. I see that mountain over there that I hadn't noticed before. That's quite mountainous. Could be perhaps a Dragon Spine 2.0. Perhaps too we're gonna go to the quote-unquote Primordial Sea, which wouldn't affect us, but it would affect characters from Fontaine. I don't know how they would try to fit that in. Now that I'm just sort of exploring around, why don't I just sort of like look around, because now I'm kind of curious what's on top of this building. I just want to see what's on top of this building, to be honest with you. I don't think I can make that.
Here we go.
Ah, you bastards. I swear they built everything to be like, you can't go here with Venti or something. Some things are just hard to get to in this dang place. Like, Focalor's opera seat. Couldn't get to it with Venti's jump. Or Scaramouche's flying. I'm not seeing anything. I suppose they made chests harder to find than just go up here. That's a mysterious mountain. We're surely gonna go there. Nice. Dragon Spine 2.0. I'm for it. Hopefully Albedo will come too. He's one of my favorite characters. Can't make that. Can't go up here though. There's surely a something up here. Yeah, there is.
Here we go.
I don't think I can do that. That's unfortunate. Or maybe. Never say never. Never say never. You'll never know unless you try. Haha! I knew it. Give me all this useless shit. It doesn't matter if it has a point or not. I just want it. Give me it. I need the dopamine. We can get up here to this little. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. What do you know? Alright, now we can continue with the game. Let's get on with this story. When Electro meets Hydro, the elemental reaction is Electro Charge. This somewhat stupefying state is continuous electro damage. Damage? Damage, you say? Alright. Hi. Oh. Cussing. I just hate her design. These stupid, like, gear shit that she has all over her.
Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Neuvillette, actually.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Anyone can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy. So please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorney.
Liney's.
It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report
What are
and
these
archive
fucking
some
things?
information on a follow-up.
I'm not a fan.
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
Oh, right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
He's gonna kill that thing for letting them through. Let's turn up the volume so the ASMR doesn't overpower it.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
Hold on. There we go. Ba-da-da-da. If I need to, I'll just turn myself up. I still got some room to do that.
Please come in.
Nice office. I like that he received us. Ooh, I like these couches.
Neuvillette. We only like to get in because
That's true.
we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
Let's turn down this ASMR just a
So
smidgen.
you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Yeah, I didn't think he would be. I did not picture his personality like this at all. I'm wondering if he's gonna like make a switch.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no
Or
one
if
by
like
the name of Vache
there's
has been
something
involved in
behind
any
it.
case,
Because I
criminal or
wasn't
civil,
expecting him to
in the
be
past
so
several
nice.
years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem.
What was that?
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything.
I'm going to pause on that right now. We interrupted this poor man's work in the middle of his day. Perhaps he was on a break, reading his favorite book. And then bring in Navia. Or we all come into his office and be like, hey, have you heard of this random name of, like, you know, through the entirety of the history of Fontaine? No? Oh, okay, we'll be on our way then. And now she has her little fit. Like, alright, you're back on the negative side, Navia. Like this guy's got shit to do, and it's not about just being yelled at by you.
There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions. He still owes me answers.
To be fair, I understand her anger. Like, if I were put in her situation, I think I would react the exact same way, because I'm irrational and neurotic myself, so I'd be right there with her. I'm being a hypocrite and calling her out, but I'm also not a character in a video game. I am a streamer controlling all of this. This is my world, so I can make those claims.
If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
He can't.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
They're like, hey, sorry, Neuvillette. Sorry about that, Neuvillette. We're not gonna bother you again. Had her little moment there. Sorry to bother.
Navia, are you okay?
Oh, it is raining.
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah, and if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
Making a bit of a leap.
I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right.
Making a leap.
Did I not connect the dots earlier?
Making a leap to a
Alright,
grasping,
let's go to Quasar. With this new
grieving
lead in
daughter
mind,
of a
we'll
deceased
get to the
person.
bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
Yeah, we'll see you later. Oh, whatever,
Great.
let's just go.
Let's go then.
I don't care. We've got nothing better else to do. I did all my chores and everything else off camera. What? Oh, we've already been here before. To a poisson. 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 French is a pretty language. I kind of wish I had taken that in high school. I took German instead, which I'm not like. I'm glad I also took German as well.
Huge.
mainly
should be anywhere than a
because
place like this.
my older sister had taken German as well,
There's no need
so
to
I
be
kind of wanted
so
to follow in her
surprised.
footsteps a little
While
bit, I
it may look
suppose.
like a ship, it's
Um,
actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My
but
father was the one who asked for it to be built
it
like
was
this.
sort
Perhaps
of
our
like,
taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common.
sorry,
The
my
gigantic
stream
and
is kind of
glamorous ship
crapping out.
embodies discovery,
I'll start closing
opportunity,
things.
ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
My goodness. Don't you just hate it when your stream craps out? Looks like it's going a bit better now.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers.
Kinda rude.
But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Oh, what if we get a big
Poisson is
ship?
where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
I would love it if we like got like a big ship. Not that we would really need it, but
Yeah.
oh, kitty. Looks like my kitty. Where are we going? Poisson. But yeah. Anyway, I took German because my sister took it, and I know my dad encouraged me to take it as well, because we are German, and so yeah, the teacher as well, like she was fantastic. She was such a sweetheart. Frau, I won't say her name, but we called her Frau, which means, well, technically in German you wouldn't just call someone Frau offhandedly. It would be sort of like calling someone out loud, "Hey lady," or something like that, because that's what Frau means in German. Like you would say, instead of like Miss Harrington, you would say Frau Harrington. And so, but like just shorthandedly, we would call her Frau. Hey Frau. And she was fine with it. She like every generation of students would call her Frau. And now that I'm thinking about it, it just I miss her a little bit. But it's just she was just a very nice lady. The French teacher, on the other hand, was a massive bitch, I heard. And none of the kids who were taking French were any that I cared for in any way. A lot of my friends were taking German, so I stuck with German. I've lost most of it in my old age, but you know, I think I got my pronunciation down. I could, if I wanted to, like, well, I could look up a word and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why it is called and spelled that, or why it is pronounced that way. Or I can kind of form sentences too. It's kind of weird because like a lot of languages, German is a gendered language, so you kind of have to keep that in mind whenever you're talking or like you're writing something down. Tweety, come here, baby. Don't come up here. Come here, girl. You're good girl. I need to get like a cat camera or something. Good girl. Sure. Yeah, sure, Marco. That baby.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Yes, hi, baby. Malou. I feel like I know.
We're back.
Like I can't pronounce French words at all. It's foreign
Apologies
to
for the
me,
wait,
so to speak.
mademoiselle. And you said before that you still had some business.
I like to
at
think
the
I can,
court.
but I
What
can't.
brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
Song.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait!
So
The
absinthe.
guard guy who turned into water also mentioned that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
I bet that's what synth
He
is.
did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Like me.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret, and the man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
So,
How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all.
so Jacques' body was
Back
found
on it,
though.
I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene. Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But,
Okay.
considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost
What if it was
most of its
Malus?
former glory,
Always blame the butler.
Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here, Callous the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
I appreciate her drive.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malouse?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
They almost did. They almost tried to. In the previous episode, they tried to poison her tea.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
Oh, sorry.
To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malouse, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly
True.
they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Maloose.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Maloose. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Maloose. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
I hope we can work together. Sure, leave it to me. 3 years ago on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hands and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on the investigations done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been writ. Well, I doubt that there was. I doubt one of the bullets had the water in it. That's for true. I don't really want to go through the investigations right now. I'm quite tired. So I will call it there. Bye.